So yeah, Jane Hatfield, or Jane, was a really remarkable woman, and she had a really impressive career in health and the charity sector. She worked for lots of really well-known charities and health organisations. She also had a real love of doing extra qualifications, so had an MA and an MBA. Can't understand it myself, but it was very admirable she did that. She also found time, as well as being the chief exec of our busy membership body, to also chair another charity. But she was so much more than her work. She loved her family of Gally, Sol and Alma very deeply. She also kept up with a really wide circle of friends, and she managed to find the time to do cultural things as well as working full time, being a mum. Yeah, amazing. She managed to fit it all in. So she brought so much to the Faculty of Sexual and Reproductive Health Care. So she did some really big things. She was there for 8 years. She helped us modernise. She made us much more political and campaigning for women's healthcare issues. But she also did lots of sort of less obvious things to the external world, and one of them, which was said by a gay member of our staff at one of her sort of celebration dues before she had to stop working for us, was that she created an organisation where we could be ourselves, and I think that's sometimes quite unusual. So, and I left fairly recently, and it really resonated with me, this idea that you can be yourself at the organisation that Jane led. And even when she was living with that damn cancer, she was remarkable. She continued to work, and she threw herself into fundraising thousands, also with, I know, the help of her children as well, and also raising awareness of ovarian cancer. So I would be remiss, and Jane would not be pleased, if I didn't tell you, if you've got ovaries, or you know someone who's got ovaries, look up the symptoms, please. Look after your ovaries. And I'm really pleased that we're able to be here to remember Jane today with colleagues, family, and all of you. And I feel like our move to Union Street, which we did before the pandemic, was in part due to Jane's really hard work. We moved in with our sister organisation, the Royal College of Obstetricians, and a lot of that is because Jane worked really hard on relationships and sort of worked with our stakeholders to cement those relationships. So we were able to move with them from Regent's Park into their new fancy building up there. And also, I should say that somebody mentioned empathy earlier. Jane had lots of empathy, and also champions kind of the forgotten, those that hadn't been sidelined by society. So I feel that her values really align with what volunteers and everyone are doing here at Crossbones. Sorry. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you to the volunteers at Crossbones for doing this, like how amazing that this happens, and looking after the memories of those that are buried here, but also for enabling us to be here tonight and to make, to have Jane remembered in the garden. My colleagues Sarah and Harry for organising this, and also Gally, Sal and Alma for joining us, and everyone else for coming. That's it, thank you.